There's no easy way to say this. Guess I'll say it to you.
I should learn rudiments, but I don't know, like, yeah, I just play. I know what I can play, and it's good enough for what I need to do. But yeah.
Yeah, teach them musicality then.
Yeah, that's probably a good way of looking at it, because a lot of people who haven't who love, I don't know, punk or emo, they go, oh, I want to play My Chemical Romance. It's like, yeah, but you got to learn how do you hold a stick, and that sounds like boring. It's kind of like, how when you want to jump in a car and drive and go on holiday, but you can't. You got to learn all the really boring stuff. But that will kind of, well, it's the thing also, like, you want to teach good habits rather than bad habits.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at me or someone else looked at me holding a stick, they might go, that's probably not quite right, but I don't get cramps anymore because I warm up a bit, not as much as I should, and I hold the stick slightly different to how I used to. But that all comes down to what stick you use and weight and just how you carry yourself and the kind of orientation of you. Yeah, there's so much. I say to people, there's so much involved in being a drummer. Some people think it's really easy, you just whack things. It's like, nah, there's a lot of complexities to.
Yeah, you got to make technique, basically.
Say again?
Technique. You got to learn a bit of technique in order to save energy and prevent injury and be able to move faster around the kit without having to move your arms so much.
It's like hitting the drums musically. I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah,
I think that worked. I got my T-shirt on, by the way. I couldn't find my City of Thieves one, annoyingly. But yeah, I got this one.
I've got a random one on.
So today I'm joined by Mr. Will Richards of the London Drumstick Company in reverse, and City of Thieves.
Hello.
So just for any of you, like I said, don't know who Will is, like I said, he's played in drummer City of Thieves for quite a while. I don't know how many years, sort of 2, 3 albums and loads of singles. How many albums? 3?
Well, we were called Four Wheel Drive.
Four Wheel Drive before, yeah.
Yeah, and so we've been City of Thieves for about 4 or 5 years now, and we were Four Wheel Drive for about 9 years before that. So as a band, we're playing together. It's been about 14 years, yeah. So we've got a few albums and a few EPs, and quite a lot of gigging under our belt.
How would you describe your journey from Four Wheel Drive to City of Thieves musically? How would you kind of?
I'd say that we grew up a bit, I guess you could say. I think with Four Wheel Drive, it was a lot of subject matter was mostly around beer and women, which was very apt at the time, being in our 20s and touring around Europe in a van, just basically making a nuisance of ourselves. And then with City of Thieves, I think that we changed the name because we wanted to go for a slightly different branding. We were also encouraged by a team that we had around us at the time. So we had a PR company, we had a bit of management going on and booking agency, and they all basically said, look, we think that City of Thieves a different name would be a good idea and a slightly different approach. So I think that we just sort of grew up and sang about different subject matter, really, a bit more social comment. Yeah, so we grew up a bit, but still very heavy.
Definitely. more musical, I think. Like I said, as you grow up, you mature musically and stuff like that. You learn your instrument more and I know, discover new chords and I don't know, different ways of writing songs, and they kind of come together a bit different. And I guess the output is different, kind of, because your approach is, like you said, from a different angle. But really, what I want to focus on, so we'll talk about the drumsticks later because that's obviously sort of key. So when did you start? So A, when did you start drumming? But B, why drums?
I started drumming when I was 8, so a long time ago. I'm 35 now, so 8 years old is a very, very long way away. But I started playing drums at 8 years old because I'd started playing piano at school, so I wanted to do a musical instrument. Tried piano. I was pretty rubbish at it. My teacher was a bit old and boring. So then I tried trumpet for some reason, and I caught myself playing. I remember I had a moment in the living room. I was playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star very badly, and I just thought, nah, this isn't working for me. Even as a little kid, I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. And I sort of gave up after that. And then I saw a really cool kid in the top year at school, who was probably about 12 at the time, who I thought was very old and very cool. And he was playing drums, and I remember a load of girls were gathered around him, all giggling and thinking that he was very cool. And I thought, well, that's for me. I want to be that guy. I want to have the girls standing around me giggling and going, oh, look at him. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely a way to get girls. So that's why I started playing drums. And it kind of spiraled from there, really. I managed to catch a Guns N' Roses video for Paradise City. And when that came on MTV2, I think I just went, oh, I have to be that guy. Steven Adler with his arms above his head doing that intro to Paradise City. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the good stuff. So I told my mum in the car, I looked at her and said, I'm going to be a rock drummer when I grow up. She was like, oh, great.
Yeah. You do that.
Oh, brilliant. Nice one. Well, okay then. I'll get you a drum kit then. And that's it. It's just been that ever since.
Who is there a particular drummer that inspired you? Because you obviously mentioned Steven Adler. I mean, some people say, "Oh yeah, Steven Adler's better than Matt Sorum," and or vice versa. But do you have like a particular drummer, or even it could have been like a musician who wasn't a drummer, that really inspired you to see, apart from Steven Adler, inspired you to kind of carry on sort of drumming, and then subsequently from that, who did you pay attention to kind of inspire you, I guess, today?
Well, as you go along your drumming journey, you definitely pick up certain characters that do keep you going. They keep you inspired, make you want to pick up the sticks. So for me, going down the rock and metal route, Nico McBrain. So I got very into Iron Maiden. I love Nico's playing, and I found his footwork on Wicker Man quite amazing as well. So I wanted to figure out how to do that. John Otto from Limp Bizkit, because at the time there was a lot of new metal going on when I was learning the drums and when I was in my early teens. So there was Limp Bizkit. John Otto's playing was amazing. I thought it was extremely heavy, but also he had such a great groove. He was very funky. He had an awesome, massive kit with loads of cymbals and a big rack, and I thought that was the best thing I'd ever seen. And obviously Travis Barker, who's influenced just hundreds of thousands of people, whether you're a drummer or not. Travis is playing, he just transformed a band that could be quite basic. He made them quite special. He made Blink-182 special, and lots of people picked up on that, and I picked up on that, definitely. So I was always trying to analyze his playing and figure out his fills and all sorts of stuff he was doing. Joey Jordison and his lightning fast feet and his awesome fills. I loved Slipknot. So yeah, these are the drummers I picked up really, and then I got into grunge quite heavily, and I was just really enjoying Sean Kinney from Alice in Chains. I find that guy is absolutely incredible, and just that's that really. I can keep going. Dave Grohl, massive influence as well. Taylor Hawkins, of course, obviously, R.I.P. Taylor. So yeah. Just I could go on forever. So I better not. I'll stop there.
It's not like, if you think like grunge, for example, like Soundgarden, for example. I know you think of like Bad Motorfinger or Down on the Upside or whatever. Or even if you think, and you'll get the comparison, or even listen to like Howling Wolf or Muddy Waters. That those guys and say Soundgarden quite similar in the respect that, I guess what I'm getting at is it's music that's heavy without being heavy. If you listen to kind of Howlin' Wolf or Muddy Waters and you listen to like the beat, it's quite, it's quite heavy, but like obviously musically it's not really heavy. Do you know what I mean? It's quite subtle, but like there's some like, I don't know, trying to think, not Rusty Cage. I can't remember the name of the song. Huh?
Spoon Man?
I don't know, but there's one like you can hear, like it's almost like kind of stoner metal, where it's kind of like got a really sort of slow, sludgy, sexy kind of sultry kind of rhythm. And there's nothing it's not lightning fast. It's just really like dun dun dun. The song kind of goes like dun 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 dun. I want to like fuck you all the way or something. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, it's heavy without being heavy. Obviously you listen to like Slayer, you listen to like Dave Lombardo, obviously it's really fast, really quick, really distorted, chuggy guitars and bass. But yeah, like I said, listen to like some soul, Motown. Some of it's quite, on blues, it's really heavy, but like I said, without being, screamo or whatever, I guess like when Joey Jordison left, unfortunately, Slipknot, and then what's the guy who plays now? What's his name?
Oh,
him.
Yeah, no,
That guy.
my mind's stuck now.
But they're
he's
kind
incredible.
their dynamic. I don't necessarily think on Slipknot changed as such, but obviously he had a very, signature kind of say. Every drum's got their own playing style. And his footwork was just ridiculously fast. I wouldn't. I recently bought a double pedal. I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that because my stamina's not that good and on my feet, but also kind of music. I mean, who do you listen? Like, who do you watch? Like now, could be, obviously he's passed away, but Keith Moon or Ginger Baker, or are there any old time drummers who are no longer with us, or any kind of modern drummers that you kind of watch?
Danny Carey. He's not an old timey drummer that's not with us anymore. He's still very much here. But Danny Carey he came along, blew my mind, and I've been trying to sort of figure out his stuff ever since. And even now, obviously, still struggling with it. But he's a constant inspiration. And I watch any footage I can of him all the time, most of the time. Yeah, I'm absolutely in love with that man. And I had the pleasure of meeting him once, and I turned into a gargling mess when I met him. Could barely speak, so that wasn't any good. I had loads of questions lined up in my mind. I just went, when I saw him.
You're good at playing drums, aren't you? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I think I just went, thanks for everything. He was like, okay. So I definitely just check out a lot of his stuff. But right now, who else? Ben Thatcher, Royal Blood.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool feel. Very cool.
Yeah, he's got. He's always in the because I interviewed Adam Box, the drummer from Brothers Osborne, a couple of weeks ago. He always talks about like playing in the pocket, like playing in the groove, being just very, not necessarily not like undersimplified, but just kind of simple and just kind of, complementing the song and not being too flash. You get your moments where you can, be a bit risky and dangerous, and other moments where you just got to really sort of keep driving the song. And he's kind of a bit like that, I think. Quite energetic and quite solid. If you think about it.
Oh yeah, very solid. Yeah, I'm actually really big into Brothers Osborne at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the drummer's name?
Adam Box.
Adam Box. Cool.
Just really. I'll tell you about it later. I mean, that I'll be posting that at some point. Yeah, just really, really good. And we was talking about like warm ups. We'll talk about it a bit later. But basically, he was saying he's like, no, I don't really warm up before a gig. I was like, huh? But you like played on like you're Grammy nominated and awarded, and you play massive shows. Like, you don't warm up. He's like, just kind of I make sure I'm not stressed before the show, and I'll go on and just try and have a good gig. And we had a challenge. You said, right, okay, next time we hook up online or whatever, I said, look, I want to talk to you. And so I say, did you did you warm up on the next gig or whatever? Tell me how you warmed up. And he's going to do the same to me. And if we haven't warmed up, either of us, like by the next show, there's some sort of forfeit. But I don't think we've kind of worked that out yet. So, but so I mean, would you say you've matured as obviously apart from age, musically? Would you say you've matured? Would you say your playing's become more? I don't know. Like, has your playing become more concise, more what's the word? Like intellectual? Like you kind of think more about playing what you're playing. In the environment that you're playing it in. If that makes sense.
I think maybe definitely. I think I play more musically, I would say, rather than trying to get in licks or lightning fast fills or trying to be flashy. You tend to expand a little bit and think more about how you fit in the grand scheme of things. So it's about trying to choose the right parts for the song and really make the song a little bit better for you being there.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say, from a performance point of view, maybe even live, I find I'm calmer. I'm a lot calmer these days.
Okay.
I used to speed up a lot. I used to make songs a few BPM faster than they would be on the record. I used to get carried away with the adrenaline and the showmanship side of things. I think that's definitely calmed down a lot. I feel a lot more natural in the pocket as I've got older. I just calmed down a bit. Still play with the same intensity, but with a lot more sympathetic to the actual timing of things. I'm sure my singer is very grateful for.
Yeah.
He's got more time to articulate his lyrics.
I think like there's lots of, again, at what something Adam said, but it's just completely logical. There's so many things that can impact your playing. Because I said, if you played a show and found that you've kind of been playing ahead of the click or behind it, you said, it happens. You said, no one's naturally perfect, like rhythm wise. You said anyone who says they, that they feel the same one day and they feel the same the next, said, that's, you can't trust yourself. He said, it's kind of what you ate the previous night, how much sleep you've got, any kind of circumstance that happened in the day before a show. So many different factors that can influence how you play, or kind of the speed, or whether you're listening to the click in your ears or not. I was like, that's true. Especially like there's a couple of gigs where I've been late for a show. I've been working and had to, I don't know, go from Fareham to Sheffield in like not quite an hour, but and like literally getting there about 5 minutes before doors open, and like obviously when you're setting up your snare and your breakables and stuff, I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh my god, and I go at like about 500 miles an hour, and then probably the first song I'm probably quite fast, obviously no click, but just possibly rushing it, and then by the second song I think I've kind of like and breathe, but so many different things that can sort of influence your playing, and it's just really kind of trying to get in a headspace to kind of like, and the whole thing about practicing is like, or warming up, is trying to take yourself away from like the crowd or whatever before you go on, and just kind of take yourself away into a room, just sort of decompress, warm up and stuff like that. But just kind of, as you'll know, just naturally, being in a band, it's quite a sociable pursuit, and you want to talk to your friends, fans, whatever you want to call them. You want to hang out with them and stuff, but then you end up like burning out your voice, you're doing some singing or whatever, and then you kind of haven't got any time to, not even 2 minutes to warm up. It's like, you go on stage. So that's one thing I'm going to make sure I do next year more of, is take myself away 10 minutes before a show and just either with the guys or just on my own and just play for 10 minutes or whatever, and just really kind of get yourself in the zone.
Yeah, you got to try and mellow yourself out.
Yeah. Because I said, if you're playing in front of like 10,000 people at like the Grammys or whatever, like how, what do you do? He's like, I have a couple of beers. 5 minutes before, I'll kind of, he'll talk to his girlfriend or whatever, and just like make sure the sticks feel like normal in his hand or whatever. And he goes, oh, I think you bloody hell. It just makes it sound so easy, playing a Grammy show. It's like, But it's just, do you have any
It's a show like any other.
Say again?
I suppose it's a show like any other. You can't let the grandiose nature of it sort of affect you. So I suppose that's the difference between, that's what a professional is all about, I guess. Someone that can play any size of show, and it doesn't matter. You still stay on an even keel. And you can deliver the same goods. Yeah,
it's not easy. Like I said, anyone who says drums are easy, it's not. Especially when you're playing in front of an audience, it gets tougher. I mean, do you have any? Yeah, let's talk about warm ups. Do you warm up before a show? I'm not talking about like going into rehearsal and practicing the day before a show too. Like before you go on stage, what do you do?
Well, especially these days. Now I'm getting a bit older. I have to warm up. I never used to warm up ever. I used to just drink beers and then go on stage.
Yeah.
These days it's a little bit more important, because you can cramp up. I get cramps in my forearms sometimes. So it's good just to stretch. I like to do lots of stretches. I like to make sure my arms are just lots of this kind of thing, because I know that I'm gonna pull muscles. So I tend to go for it hell for leather.
Yeah.
And also just warming up on the pad with rudiments is important, just to get your hands warmed up, get everything moving, getting everything kind of flowing, so that you're not just sat at the kit suddenly thinking, oh God, I've got to fly my hands around this kit now out of the blue. It's good to get your hands just warmed up and get your head in the game as well. And sometimes I'll just put my in-ears in and I'll listen to some music as well, just to kind of get some sort of inspiring music, or maybe even sometimes the first track that we're going to play, whatever the opening song is.
Yeah,
I'll play that, so that I've got the speed in my mind, I've got the track just going on, so that it's not a huge surprise when I get on the stage. You suddenly just kick into a song. If I'm already listening to it and already warming up to it on the pad, listening to that first track, you sit down, the guitars kick off, and you know what to do. So that's quite nice.
Yeah, I've not really thought about that. I think if I have to listen to my band songs before I go on stage, and I'm really badly rehearsed. But no, that's kind of getting yourself in the zone, in the kind of in the mood. It's like everyone,
Yeah.
you go to a gig, naturally, it's, oh, hey, it's like by about 100 different people. Oh, yeah, talk to you in a minute. Oh, I got to go on stage. Yeah. And it's like, oh, and then and it gets worse because when you're trying to pack down, everyone's, oh, hey, it's like, I just need to pack my stuff down. Oh, I'll come see you in a minute. Yeah, okay, in a minute. Yeah, in a minute. And you just kind of like, and eventually spend so much time trying to pack down, you have to bloody go home, But that's, I don't know, what's the word? And Pete says it as well in the band. He says, where ordinary people doing extraordinary things. It's like, yeah, it is a privilege. Say a luxury, but yeah, it is a privilege because it's hard work. Very, very hard work as a band, and obviously for promoters and venues, shutting down left, right, and centre and stuff. And yeah, there is some sort of recovery. I think definitely that's still taking place. It's not, the recovery is not in its infancy, but it's definitely, the word. Yeah, it's slowly, like the cogs are starting to turn slowly, but it's, I think, maybe not a long way off, but we're a way off, however you want to quantify it, before it's kind of, I don't know, normalish, like grassroots effectively is at a reasonable level of, what's the word? Sort of say standard. I don't know. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it's at a good level of being back to sort of normal. But like you graft, you slog away, and it's all worth it in the end. It really is. But it's just kind of sometimes seeing the wood through the trees. Some people say it's kind of, don't try and focus on way down the line. That kind of what's going to happen way down the line. That's kind of already happening. As you go, but just kind of focus on the moment and try not to get bogged down with weeks down the line, or is this going to happen? Is this not going to happen? It's just like, just things will take their natural cause and process and path, and it's just, you just got to go with it, But that's my theory.
Exactly. Try not to get too bogged down in the what ifs and buts and maybes. Just enjoy playing music, and then if you enjoy it, your fans will enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And the right things will happen as long as you're constantly improving and trying to be better all the time.
I think if you finish a song or finish a set and the crowd, and you're playing in front of a big crowd, however you want to say quantify it, like just roar afterwards, and singing your songs, I think that's kind of, shows that you're doing something right. That's kind of like a measure of sort of success or like achievement, because you think to when you started playing your first shows, and then seeing the crowds you're playing to now, and the response, and the, you can get bogged down in like social media stats and things, but how many people like you, blah, blah, blah. But the proof is playing in front of bigger crowds, and obviously the band's name getting out there sort of a lot more. That's I think that's, for me, that's like, it's a big buzz. Like I said, if you're enjoying it, then the fans, the people at the audience are gonna enjoy it. You got to, it's a two-way thing. You can't sort of, I don't know, be looking miserable on stage and sort of, and as you say, the performance is kind of, playing your instrument is one thing, but performing is kind of like hand in hand, but that's like a separate thing altogether. And some people can do it and some people can't. I don't know, like I always try and look at the crowd and sort of not necessarily look at what I'm doing, but sometimes I kind of like, I don't know, sometimes I'll be like looking down, and then like I'll miss a cue from Dave or something like that, and I'm like, so always try and like just be aware of what else is going on, as opposed to, but again, you play more shows, you just kind of forget what you're doing, and you kind of, you just, you play a really good show, and everything's just kind of natural, and as opposed to force, because you can force perform, and it kind of, I think that kind of shows sometimes with whoever.
Yeah, horses for courses. If some people just like to get in the groove and not necessarily get into showmanship, and that's great. If they want to do that, everyone's got their own style. Sometimes people want to throw sticks up in the air and spin sticks loads. I find that can sometimes be detrimental if they're dropping sticks a lot. I've seen some drummers concentrate so much on flipping sticks that they drop them all the time, and it's a bit distracting. But I don't know. Everyone's got their own style. As long as you find your own and you just really go for it, then it'll work out.
I can't spin sticks. I get people asking, "Oh, can you spin a stick?" No. Sort of, do I need to? It's like, okay, no, I just can't. And I guess this is sort of like the next question is, from a learning point of view, would you say, how much theory would you say you've learned over the years, and would you say you're kind of theory and self-taught half and half, or more theory than self-taught, or vice versa?
I actually had lessons from day one.
Okay.
I've had a great drum teacher called Chrissy Lee. She was on Britain's Got Talent last year, I think it
Yeah,
was.
no, I know. Yeah,
I'm very proud of her. She's a fantastic person, and she was a fantastic teacher. And she taught me a lot about theory. I did my grades, and I learned how to read music. I've learned how to, obviously, well, if you read it, you can write it as well. But I find writing music is quite handy sometimes. And I learned a lot about rudiments as well and playing different styles. So she made me join the school jazz band, which at the time when I was listening to Travis Barker and trying to be a punk drummer,
yeah,
that didn't seem like the sexiest thing to do or the best thing to do. But she said, look, it really will improve your playing. I promise. It will improve it in ways that you're not really aware of right now. So I did that for for 4 years, the jazz band, and you learn how to swing.
yeah,
You learn how to play. You learn how to swing on the ride cymbal. You learn how to play in different feels. And I found that now I can play like a halftime shuffle, and
mm,
it doesn't sound too bad because I had that basis in a bit of jazz, and that basis in swing, and
yeah,
that basis in just sort of groove playing. That really helped. So she encouraged all that kind of thing to make me a more well-rounded musician, which I do like to think I am ish, even though I've
yeah,
gone down this pigeonholed kind of metal and rock thing. But it does help. It helps. So if I want to play a ZZ Top swung groove, I can do it reasonably comfortably. It's not something that's alien to me because I have that background in jazz.
mm,
So back to your question, I would say that I am mostly theory based really because I've always studied
yeah,
and I definitely went hard on the rudiments at one point, thinking the rudiments were lame for a long time. I decided, right, do you know what? I'm just going to face this beast and I'm going to bloody well get my hands around it properly and understand it.
mm,
So I was going through a book of rudiments, and they really help just to make you navigate your way around a drum kit more easily. And also,
okay,
if you get yourself in a bit of a if you get your sticking in a bit of a tangle because you've gone for a really big ambitious fill,
yeah,
having some quick rudiments can get you out of a jam nice and quick. So it makes it look like it's all very smooth and you're meant to do it.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it's about just making sure you got stickings correct. Also address your left hand or your right hand depending on what's your strongest hand, but make sure
Yeah,
that your weaker hand is always being tested and
yeah,
trained as well. So if you're right-handed, try and lead with your left. Concentrate
yeah,
on rudiments starting with your left hand.
that's it.
Try not to leave any weak spots in your playing because then you'll always end up hiding from them forever.
Mm,
Try and face them. So that's what my drum teacher always taught me. She was like, anything that you think there's a hole in your playing, let's face it, you know.
mm.
And she also encouraged me to play to a metronome always as well.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, being click friendly,
Even though adrenaline can put paid to that, but
especially if you're in a studio, it's always to a click because if you don't do it to a click, then it makes the producer or the whoever's mixing your stuff it's just a nightmare because you can't sort of move tracks sort of left or right by like half a second to make it all sort of line up properly because like I said, no one's perfect in the studio even if you play to a click. But I think I'll probably take a leaf out of your book because I'd say lazy, can't be bothered. I know what the mentality is, but like yeah, I still think the rudiments are lame, but just kind of I think my concern or whatever, forethought is kind of applying it to my playing because I know like a paradiddle diddle, a blushka or whatever. I know what they are. I know how to do them, but it's like I kind of think, well, how am I going to put a paradiddle into my fill? It's kind of like right, okay. So and like you said about like leading with your weak hand, like my right's definitely like the more dominant hand. So if I start a lick on the snare, it's always right. But like you said, there's some fills which I don't know whoever has played it. I'm thinking, right, how do I do that fill and then end on that cymbal? I don't know, the crash cymbal or the right or whatever. And it's like, okay, and I listen to it, and I'm like, right, actually, it's easier to sort of do rather than doing like duh 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 duh, which seems a bit more. You want to go duh 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 duh, sort of that, as opposed to crossing over, hitting the cymbal with that hand. So it's kind of
yeah, so you can do a quick double in one hand to get yourself out of a situation where you can free up your left hand to hit a crash on the left. And also, do you know what the best thing to do? I would recommend when it comes to rudiments is hit the pad doing them. But what's really fun is doing them on different voices around the kit. And you can hear this in all sorts of different YouTube videos on drum channels and things like that. There's lots of drummers doing all of this on Instagram. But yeah, it's important really. Just do a paradiddle constantly around the kit, just using hitting different voicings of the
Yeah,
kit.
toms, cymbals, yeah.
Yeah, and it is fun. It can be really fun actually, and you can be surprised what different how it could expand your musical vocabulary.
Yeah. I think I'll have to do it. I think I'll have to buy myself
Building thing.
a rudiment book for Christmas maybe or something.
Go for it.
It's like, I can't do
untapped potential.
say again.
Unlock all of that potential.
Hmm.
Because the rudiments can open your eyes a little bit. There's loads. I'm not saying I'm a master of rudiments. There's some that I'm really trying to get my head around still. Trying to make myself comfortable with them, like 9-stroke rolls.
Yeah.
My favorite is a 5-stroke roll. I love those. I'm just trying to figure out. I like trying to figure out how to put those into a fill.
Hmm.
Things like that. And if you mix in double pedal as well.
Yeah, that's because I basically when I was at uni, so 2004, I think 2006, because kind of not the drums didn't start when I used to just go to church and whatever, but like the church band didn't have a drummer, so that's kind of where I came in at about 10, 11. Bought my first kit in 2003, but yeah, basically me and the church band, we were like, right, let's sort of do a Christmas concert, do like the Christmas songs and do some like hymns or whatever. I thought, right, let's put a modern twist on the hymn. So we got like together, played a couple of songs, and I said, why don't we do like a metal version of Hosanna? Was it Sing Hosanna or whatever? And so basically, the guy who said he liked metal couldn't really play metal, didn't have the effects pedals. So basically, the metal version of Sing Hosanna was just me playing double pedal constantly, not very good, and flamming probably quite a lot. And then I sold it. I was like, this is rubbish. I didn't really understand how to use it. So obviously went to a single pedal, and then over the years listening to whoever, like Bonham for example, I'm like, right, I'm just going to use a single pedal. I want to be able to do what he does with a single pedal. Obviously, I'm not going to be like him, but just kind of a bit more of a purist, because I know some people have a double pedal and you can make a really simple fill sound really good, or a lot more complicated than it is. Like if you do like a sort of like a double on the kick and then a double on top, so you go do it, that do that quick, sounds really good. And I was like, no, I want to stick to a single, but I got like a DW5000 like for a killer deal. I traded in my Tama Speed Cobra because I wasn't getting on with it. And I was like, right, okay. So we did a gig in Chesterfield last week before. Was it 10th of September? Yeah. And basically like Rocking the Bowl Festival, they kind of cancelled it this year because of just poor ticket sales. And as I'm saying, you're not out of the woods yet. But so anyway, we got a load of bands together who've played Rocking the Bowl before and those who were going to play this year, and got together, basically just did a gig for the organisers, just help them out. And yeah, so like we did Rocky Mountain Way by Joe Walsh, and Come Together by the Beatles, and I was kind of just sticking in, like putting in really like quick fills, like just really quick sort of doubles or quadruplets or triplets or whatever, just to kind of give the fills a bit more of a danger, a bit more of a kind of an edge, rather than just kind of going like really sort of like, because I haven't got the stamina for it, and I know I'll start flamming, so it's more for quick, all kind of making a triplet sound like a sextuplet, I think.
That's a great way of using a double pedal, and it's sort of little embellishments and little exciting moments that you could throw in with a double pedal is quite fun. It doesn't always have to be.
I think you can overuse the double. Like it's like, I don't know, guitars. The guitar players use effects. Well, I think you can overuse something and it just sort of not necessarily becomes a novelty, but it's just I just think there's some things, drums or like a China cymbal. I mean, it's great, a great sound, but I think some bands can overuse it. You think, oh, it's just like really loud all the time, really fast, and you think, okay, that's good, but it's like you need the light and shade. That's what I always say. You need the moments of quietness and sort of sensitivity. Like you listen to the song Jordan by Rival Sons, Michael May, like one of my favorite drummers. You talk about swing, he plays like that, and that's kind of how I try and play. And then they've got like Electric Man, which is like a full-on sort of bluesy rock song, and he really goes for it. So you got to have those. You got to have balance. Otherwise, it's just, I don't know. Personally, for me, it's a bit samey. But like I said, it's not just on the drums; it's the guitar. You just got to, change it up, sometimes. But like I said, it's just, I can't imagine Slayer doing like a love ballad or something like that. It would work. So Slayer do what they do, and they're very good at it, But it's just,
Yeah.
You know, you got
I'm
to.
a bit of a China cymbal junkie, I have to say. I definitely hit it a lot.
That's fine though, because it suits. You know, do you know what I mean?
So fun. Gah! They're so loud and explosive. I like to hit it with the snare drum a lot. Or if I'm really losing, really losing my temper doing a guitar solo, I'll, ride on the China. I do love a bit of that. But yeah, man, I know what you mean. It's all about, well, luckily with drums and with lots of instruments, we have lots of textures to choose from. You know, you've got some like dry cymbals, you've got very like brilliant glassy crashes and things, and you can use different chinas, and there's holy crashes, splashes. So for whatever you need to do, there's such a variety of textures out there available for people to choose from now. So
I think I had a Fabian ozone crash once, and that was the closest thing I got to a China without the band that I was in at the time going, oh no, I hate that sound, and I actually quite liked it, but it was a bit more of a longer decay than obviously a China. But I mean, give me a rig rundown of what you use and why do you use it. So what are you currently using?
Rig rundown, right? Yeah. Well, my setup's pretty basic actually. It's a one up, one down situation. I use a Pearl Masters Studio from the 90s. It's a beautiful kit, and it's never gone out of tune. I've never nothing's ever gone loose on it during a tour, and I've had it since I was 12.
Okay.
And it's been around Europe with me multiple times. It's a wonderful kit. So I have a 12-inch rack tom, a 14 and a 16-inch floor tom, and I've used a variety of cymbals in my time, but now I use Paiste. And I really enjoy their medium ranges, actually. So the 900 series and the PST7s. I got a bit heartbroken. I've been heartbroken many times from like having a beautiful A custom or a very expensive K or HHX Sabian. And when they break, it's 300, 400 quid down the drain, and they crack because you're just beating the hell out of them. So I decided to go for a medium range cymbal. So I love the PST7s by Paiste. They're made of the same alloy as the 2002 series, and they sound fantastic. They always sound great, and they barely break. And if they do, it's not that much money to replace them. And the 900 series are fantastic as well because they've got a similar kind of sound, but because they are more deeply lathed and more hammered, they've got a darker sound. So the PST7s do the bright sound, and I find the 900 series give a nice dark sound as well. So I've got a 22-inch just regular 900 ride. I've got Paiste PST7 19-inch crash on my left, and a 20-inch light ride that I use as a crash on my right hand side. I have an old Meinl Classics China.
Okay.
Old, it's really old, and it's really cheap. But it sounds great. It sounds great, and it doesn't break. I've had it for years, and it's never cracked. And my hi-hats are Paiste PST7 heavy hi-hats, 14-inch. And I use a Ludwig Supraphonic 14 by 6.5.
Nice.
Beautiful snare drum. And I use Tama Speed Cobra pedals because I've always enjoyed Tama pedals. I've always find they're nice and fast. They feel good for me. Or I use an Iron Cobra as well. I've got an Iron Cobra knocking around, so I use that sometimes. But yeah, I've got pork pie drum stool, which I love. Keeps my bum nice and comfy, which is
great. Is it like one of the sparkly ones, or like the cowskin, like zebra ones, or?
Sparkly. Yeah, it's got a nice, a lovely sort of swirly, red velvet top.
Nice.
It's got blue sparkle, and it's got white sparkle stars around the back as well.
Doesn't sound poncy at all.
No, it certainly does sound poncy actually, and it is poncy. But I bought it as a present from some close family friends, and I thought it was very kind of them. They were very expensive at the time, and it was very sweet of them. And I've had it ever since. I've had it for such a long time, and I've never ever had to look for a stool ever again in my whole career since I had that stool. It just
feels like a motorbike seat. I call it, like, because I've got like a Tama Road Pro, very simple, but it's shaped, as opposed to like a round, just like domes sort of seat. Is it kind of one of them, or is it shaped kind of?
It's a shaped kind of saddle style.
Yeah, nicer.
I think over the years I've imprinted my bum into it. So it and I are very in sync.
Bum buddies, yeah.
We're bum buddies. Yeah, it takes care of me. That's why I take care of it.
I might get one because like my Tamil one, I've had it. It's the first stool I've bought. I've had it since like 2003, and I've never changed it. It's great. Some of the rivets are coming out, and the tacks I need to, but yeah, I might change it. Something a bit softer. It is quite soft, but just something I don't know. It looks cool because like I saw like it's either leopard print or zebra print like around the edge, and the top was I don't know blue or red velvet or something. I thought that looked sick, but I was like, right, 300 quid. I was like, I basically my next purchase is going to be a custom Q drum snare because mine's a 14 by 6 and no 14 by 6, and I want to get a brass 14 by 8, maybe 14 by 8, something really deep and fat, just really warm. So something that I could, if I want to crank it up a little bit, but something that's going to give me a deeper tone. So I might have a side snare, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm in the market for. But heads, what do you use? Clear, coated?
I use clears and I use code drum heads. I'm not endorsed or anything like that. I've never asked. I don't play enough. But yeah, I can't remember the top. I think DNA. I think they are. And I love the kick. I love the kick head I've got actually. It's a blaster.
Blast, yeah, good.
Yeah, 22-inch clear blast. And that's great. I found it instantly made my bass drum sound
Puncher, yeah.
fatter and louder. So I'm very impressed with that particularly. So yeah, very happy. On my snare, I still use an Emperor X.
Okay.
I haven't coded up my snare drum yet, just because I find I don't know Emperor X has always just worked for me, and it keeps going on, like keeps surviving. So
Yeah.
I've not replaced it in a long time. So I tend to write my set list on my snare drum as well. So I've got this black smudge all over where I've whacked these various set lists that I've written out. And but I'm going to go for a Sterling, I think.
Yeah, that's what I use, Sterling, and it's great. Yeah, double ply. It's got the reverse dot, donut, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, it's just great. They've got another head. Mike Heaton's going to kill me because I should know it, but they've got another snare head which is slightly thicker film, but it's like a rather than a matte, like a traditional snare head. It's polished. Look, it's shiny. So it's like a kind of a gloss head. I can't remember what it's called. And that's, I think you get more of a crisper sound. But the Sterling one, I find, just tuning range wise, I can really randomly detune a couple of lugs and have like the snare wireless. Because I've got bugger. What have I got? It's Enigma. Is it an Enigma on the bottom? A clear Enigma. Yeah, resonant head. And yeah, I just find that it's sometimes I have snare heads go on. The Sterlings for like 6-7 months. I mean, I don't know how long you should, leave it until you change your heads. But I just leave. I don't know. It's like kind of like a wine, or a whiskey. It gets better with age. Some of the I remember I had a floor tom skin on for maybe a year and a half, and it was just I had the tuning. I think it was a part laziness because the tuning I had on the top and the bottom head were just so good, and it was so deep but without being boomy, and partly and B, like I said, it just a good head. They don't I don't find anyway. Obviously, I don't hit as hard as you maybe, but there's the heads don't dip. You don't get any dips in them, like depending on where you've hit them, and they just hold their tuning quite well. And also like the heads stay like crimped on like the aluminium, the core, aerospace aluminium core. So yeah, I mean, Sterlings are good. That's what I've always used. But I've got double ply generator coated at the top and at the bottom, just so I get more of a deadened sort of dampened EQ sound, and that's how because I like to go for the warmer sound, and likewise with warm sounds like my cymbals, I use Diril cymbals. So Ibrahim Diril, he did so he basically invented or patented and sort of created the Byzant series for Minor, and then I think the B20 Sabian or Feisty series, I can't remember. But anyway, I've basically got mine are quite trashy. So I've got like 13-inch hi-hats, like raw. So they're all like random hand hammered, but they're kind of not polished. They're kind of a bit raw. 13-inch. I bought a 13-inch hat once by accident. I thought I was buying a 15-inch, but I got a 13-inch. I had to chase them for money and whatever because they overcharged me. But I was like, okay, I quite like the chick sound of the 13-inch. I was like, okay. And I got like an 8. Both of my crashes are 18, and I've got like a dual finish crash. So you got polished bell, raw, unpolished kind of outer, and then the final like sort of maybe inch of the rim is polished. But then on the underside it's raw, and then I've got like a 22-inch ride, Aslan ride. The name sounded good, but also like the audio clips sounded quite cool. And then like I've got like it's like a sandblasted crash. It's called a silk crash. So the top's quite heavily sandblasted, and under the bottom it's really shiny, but it's quite a short decay. So yeah, I just tonally between the ride, the hats, and the crashes, I think I kind of spent about 5-6 months choosing my cymbal setup and just listening to the pitch of each cymbal and going right, starting from the hats. So I'd normally go hat, ride, crash, crash, and just tonally, because you don't want two cymbals that sound that, I mean, they're not going to sound necessarily the same because obviously the hand hammering and like the alloys used and the thickness and whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what I use. And then like, do you know Simpad?
Yeah,
Simpad. So I use like their chromatics like at the top, but I've got these things called moderators at the bottom. So it's like a high density foam disc which sits underneath the bell of the cymbal, so it kind of controls the sound more. It doesn't reduce impact the tone, but it deadens the sound, which is kind of for me, and obviously the style of music. I'm more wanting to. I don't want to be really loud, which is why I don't like A customs or whatever. I want the kind of sound at the back to be controlled. So generally, the musicality of the whole band you can kind of hear, and obviously you can play loud, you can play quiet. But I think if you've got the tools, if you've got darker cymbals, they're just going to generally be a bit more, not quieter, but just more colourful. So I use like an 80mm on my livelier cymbals, and like on the Silk Crash, because it's a bit quiet anyway, I just use like a 70mm, and it just helps with, like I said, just controlling the sound. That's kind of my how I think I should be sound wise. I've spent a long time choosing my gear and things like that, and and I think I just use the best. And obviously we'll talk about the sticks in a minute, but these, I think this is my second to last pair. I've got one pair left of my signature ones. This sometimes, I used to number my pairs when I first got them to see how long the sticks would last. And I remember 2018 Winter's End Planet Rock, I had I think that was my first set. No, actually I think I'm in 2017, but that was the first outing I think the sticks had. So, and I had pair 1 and pair 2. Pair 1 I think I used in November. No, was it November or December that same year for Planet Rockstock in Wales? And it was between 1 or 2, but I used pretty much the same pair. And obviously got a couple of like chips and minor splinters, but there was no cracking at all. And I mean, it's funny, you can see how I play, because from there you kind of got hit marks, and it's weird, it sort of ends there, and you think, how the fuck are you hitting a drum or a cymbal like right there? Because you think it'd probably be the first half. But yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. And I do this weird thing that I don't know, it's something I've not invented, but I'll say the ride cymbal, rather than hitting it sometimes like just on the front or the bell, I kind of sometimes like reach round the cymbal and always hit it, like reach over and hit it there. And I don't know, it just gives it a really different sound because of the way I'm hitting it. I'm not hitting it straight on the edge. I'm kind of hitting it and then down and swooping, so you kind of get a nice swish. I don't know, I just started doing it because I thought it looked a bit funky. And I thought, what, actually it's really good. Rather than hitting it straight on, hitting it on the back or the front and then swooshing down. I was like, okay, that gives a nice sound. I was like, okay. And someone said, what the hell are you doing that with your arm? Do you not know how to hit a ride cymbal? I was like, no, it's just a different sound. You hit the cymbal with the tip or with the neck or whatever, you just get a completely different sound. But these, I mean,
bit of showmanship as well.
Ish. But these are like. So we'll talk about what sticks you use. So these ones are fastback, and I can never remember the exact thickness and length, but I remember I went for a certain length because so these like sort of modelled on a 7A-ish AX, but with a teardrop.
I checked this out recently. I checked it out recently because you bought that batch of sticks so long ago that we've both forgotten what they were based on, and actually they're slightly thicker than a 5A.
Yeah,
from the millimeters, I was looking at the order sheet. Yeah, so they're actually around a 5A. Those, I thought they were 7A for a while, but actually they're edging towards a 5A, maybe slightly over.
Okay, right. I'm going to remember that for next time. But the length I went for is because I remember I'd be doing a fill and going for a cymbal and missing it. So I thought, the extra the extra inch, or two makes all the difference. That's what women say anyway. But yeah, literally best. I think I think I went for a natural finish because they're not lacquered. I think it's more of like a raw finish. These, I think so. Yeah, they're great sticks and they feel just the balance is great. And this is my favourite tip because I've gone for like acorn tip because I remember when we spoke last, you mentioned about like obviously reducing plastic and stuff, so no nylon tips. But yeah, they're great, and I just think I get a nicer. As much as that's not a very big space, I think it makes all the difference on the bell, personally, versus, like I said, a round tip or an acorn tip. But yeah, these are great. And like I said, obviously, with the logo and the artwork, obviously, the new model that I've designed, it's quite artwork heavy, but I think when it comes out with the yellow lightning bolt, that's going to look quite smart. So, yeah, I mean, your sticks, what do you have you got? I'm guessing you've got your signature on it and everything.
Funnily enough, I don't. I don't have my own signature sticks.
Am I more pretentious? Does that make me more pretentious then?
Huh?
Does that make me more pretentious then? Potentially, pretentiously, yeah.
Do you know what? It's just I haven't got round to it. Funnily enough, I'm in my blind spot. I'm busy making and designing signature sticks for so many drummers that I never really thought about sitting down and doing my own one. I'm going to at some point. But you know what? Actually, part of it is also that I enjoy trying all the different sticks. I mean, we make so many different models for so many different players around the world of different variations. We've got fastbacks, we've got front loaded, we've got different
neutral
weights,
balance,
different tips, different taper styles. I'm actually really enjoying picking up because when we're pairing sticks, sometimes I'll pick up a model that someone's designed and I'll just be like, "Oh, I like this," So I'll actually grab a couple of extra pairs myself and then put them in my stick bag. So my stick bag has got 7 different models of sticks. Well, I tell you what, I have landed on one recently, and luckily it's on my desk right now.
Let's have a look.
I'm using mostly these, which is a model for the drummer called Chris Daly from Authority Zero. This is really going to come out backwards, isn't it? Because of the way the camera's working.
No, Authority Zero, I can read it,
yeah, these are lovely. It's got a big fat, a nice round tip.
Yeah, they look quite thick.
Yeah, they're quite a thick stick. Only 16 inches. But I'm used to using 16 and a half, but these are only 16. I'm kind of.
Are they like a 5B or something? 5B maybe?
Yeah, they're around a 5B. I think maybe slightly thinner than a 5B, and they've just got a really nice taper and a nice tip. And for some reason, I was just really getting on with them. So I've got myself a few. Look, I've got a few. Oh, I've got another one over here. Another pair. So I've snagged myself a few of these Chris Daly signature sticks because I'm really enjoying them. I think Chris has got a good taste in sticks, so I agree with him.
Yeah.
And I've also got for practicing a very rare London Drumstick Company signature stick.
Chris Slade,
The Chris Slade Thunderstrike.
Yeah.
That is a big stick.
That is a big stick. Yeah, I mean you can see.
And it's got a cool black fade on it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that stick's look. Oh, can't get it in the camera. It's so huge. Got a big 17-inch 2B with a big fat acorn tip as well. So Chris likes to let the stick do a lot of the work.
Yeah.
So I use these for practicing, but I've got to be careful because there's not many left in the world. I need to make Chris some more. I think Chris has got a good stash right now, but I've got just 3 pairs.
Yeah.
And I think I need to put 2 of them on sale.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep one for me.
Yeah.
So, make some more.
So tell me more about the company. So if I remember, last time we sort of tried to do the interview, very ethical and responsible, like all like the FSC certification on like forestry commission and things like that. And, try not to waste obviously the wood and, obviously all of the other cool things is not just obviously, printing or obviously anything you can possibly imagine on a stick, but, like matching a model from like a stick from like the 50s, and basically building that same stick with modern technology and, Probably maybe not the same wood, because there's some like guitars and stuff that were made out of certain woods back then, which you can't really get now because they're so rare and things. So like rosewood's supposedly quite quite common, but it's still in short supply, rosewood. But yeah, obviously you've got your hickory, your maple, your oak, and I said honey oak. So I said I'm looking forward to seeing my honey oak ones. But yeah, it's almost like the sky's the limit with LDC. And obviously from my experience, not had any bad experience yet. Not joking. The support's great. There's a great community of drummers from the top, all the way to say the bottom, but you're kind of grassroots level or whatever. So it's great that you're not an exclusive, like, right, okay, unless you're playing to 100,000 people every weekend and you've got like 20 gazillion likes on Facebook, then no, I'm not going to deal with it. So it's really good. And obviously, from when I started with you guys in, like I said, 2017, and seeing how you've exponentially grown into this beast, which you're I said, trying to tame, it is really good. It's a testament just to how good the product is. And like I said, some people think, oh, sticks are just sticks, but they're not. Sticks are very very, I don't know. It's a very personal thing. Sticks, it's kind of, they've got to feel right in your hand. They've got to feel right when you're playing, and just it's kind of, I kind of feel sticks. Sticks are like when you're getting dressed in the morning. First thing you do is you put on your pants. It's like with drum kits, playing drums. Sticks are the first thing you put in your hands. That's the first thing you do, and then you kind of. Then you put on your cymbals and then your drums. The sticks are the first thing you basically pick up.
Absolutely. Well, drumsticks are also your connection to your instrument. A different stick can make you play in different ways. Also, different volumes, different genres. Everyone's different. They're all looking for a slightly different thing. They want whether you want your cymbals to have a nice clarity, or you like to do fast ride patterns. Or do you like to just do like throw haymakers and just play a 4/2 floor, slamming the hell out of your cymbals? I mean, how do you like to play? That's what I like to understand when talking to clients that are looking for a custom stick.
Yeah.
I say to them, how do you play? How do you want your stick to behave in your hand? Are you looking for the stick to move nice and quickly? Or do you want the stick to do a lot of the work for you? So you need one that's really heavy and front loaded. I just ask them about their playing, about their music they play, and what sticks have they played in the past that they like.
Yeah.
And we come up with a design based on that, and it is very specific to every player. We started off, for example, something like that surprised me. When we started off, I was always trying to source the heaviest hickory we could, and also always producing sticks out of the most dense hickory that we had in stock, because I thought that everyone wanted a heavy stick. And we had complaints, actually. People saying sometimes, oh, I like your 5Bs, but they're just too heavy for me. My wrists hurt. And I was like, oh, right. So not everyone. So that's why, like, not everyone really likes a heavy stick. That doesn't necessarily mean quality.
No.
So we now have our wood graded for different in different weights and different densities. So it's light, medium, and heavy. And then I say to someone, like, when you pick up a stick, what don't you like? What do you like? Sometimes they say, I don't like light sticks because they're rubbish. I like all heavy quality sticks. And then someone else will say, oh, I don't like heavy ones because I get wrist pain.
Yeah.
So then you have to just make an order or design a stick around what that person wants. And it can, it's weight, tip, balance, and also wood as well. We use hickory, we use maple. We've dabbled in a bit of oak.
But
in general, the most sought after oak is Japanese white oak, and that's not that easy to get hold of.
It's quite expensive as well, and there's not
pretty expensive. Yeah, and there's a bit of a monopoly on that, and you can't really get in there. Some other company has got the whole thing kind of sewn up.
Yeah.
So with hickory, there's also red hickory as well, which is very popular now, or getting more popular these days, and it's a good choice for a lot of people. I think it's just slightly denser in general. It's slightly denser wood, and it's got a lovely color as well. It's got a lovely brown sort of amber hue to it. Not necessarily red, but that's why we call it red hickory, or honey hickory we call it as well. And I quite like those sticks, actually. They're very beautiful.
So what I've kind of gone for is that red hickory or honey hickory, or is it the same thing?
It's the same thing. So I don't mean to be confusing. Honey hickory originated from Vic Firth. I think they call it honey hickory.
Okay.
And red hickory came from Los Cabos.
Yeah, Los Cabos. Yeah. Because I tried to Google honey hickory drumsticks and I couldn't find anything. I don't know. I don't know. because I was like, oh, I want to see what they look like. But obviously, I'll wait till I get them. But I mean, the ones I've got, I think these are probably a medium. They're definitely obviously not heavy. They're probably more the light side of medium, I think, because these aren't heavy sticks at all. Mine, they're very, like I said, very balanced and quite. I don't know. Would you
Yeah,
say
we
like?
went down the middle with you. I think we went right down the middle, sort of like a sort of medium wood. And you went for a split order, I think. You went for maple and hickory.
Yeah, I remember I did. Yeah, and I think just hickory were just. I mean, say too stupid to notice, but like, yeah, hickory just that's what I've gone for, constantly. And the maple ones were good, but just just the when you sweat and stuff like that, just the hickory just feels a bit more natural. Like I said, it depends if you go for a lacquer or unlacquered, sort of more natural sort of feel. And these are, I think, no, to be honest, I don't think these have like had much of a lacquer on them, but they're slightly, they're obviously more natural than like heavily lacquered. And I think the honey hickory, what have I gone for? Like because have I gone for like a natural finish for the honey hickory? I can't remember. What have we done? I can't remember.
We've just gone for the regular sort of light lacquer,
Yeah.
which is actually quite sort of in touch with the natural wood itself. It's not
Yeah.
not entirely raw and unfinished.
It's kind of in between, yeah.
It's kind of in between. Yeah. Which we go for as standard anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to feel in touch with the wood, but the coating gives the wood a bit of protection.
Mm.
If we go completely raw, they can feel quite rough and unsanded. And some drummers really love that, and other drummers it tears holes in their hands. So
Yeah.
you have to really be prepared for that. If you
I
want
think once I get them and if we get them on sale, I think they'll sell well because like these are pretty good. But I think my ones look, it's a bit like merch, like your band t-shirts or whatever. And I always think it's like if I went into Top Man, whatever, if I went into a shop and I saw a t-shirt and I went, like you buy silly clothes with like t-shirt slogans on it, whatever, and you look at the t-shirt and go, yeah, that looks cool, I'd wear that. And that's my mentality with like merch. It's like you have your logo on it, great, but I think if it's you've got a few embellishments on it and just kind of it's a bit like the City of Thieves one's great, like on the back it's really quite articulated the kind of design, if that makes sense. It's and it's like you want to wear that, and I kind of think with the stick it's like I think say drummers or whatever, drummers who like me or whatever, or fans or friends, they'll probably want to buy it. But I think they'll look really cool and kind of just like I said, it's quite heavily artwork, but I just think it's just a bit different.
I'm looking forward to
like the sticks. But I was going to say keep a pair for you though.
Yeah.
So I want to see what you think of them because have you got any honey hickory sticks that you've played yet or not sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a few in my time. Seeing as I'm a bit of a drumstick traveller, so whenever it comes through, I tend to nab a couple of pairs for myself. And I have played some honey hickory, and I enjoy them. They're nice and dense from the middle section of the tree, so they're quite sort of tight grained, and they're quite resilient as well, a little bit more durable. So I do enjoy those. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, my favorite Chris Davies.
So I got a couple of questions to finish off because I know we've gone over the half an hour. Okay, this is a quick fire question. So I want you to tell me what your first single you ever bought was. Could be on cassette, mini disc, vinyl, whatever. What's your first single you ever bought?
I used to be embarrassed. I'm very proud of it. 5, Slam Dunk the Funk.
Okay.
On CD single.
That's cool. I don't feel so bad. Mine was Spice Girls Wannabe, and that's actually I feel all right now. Oh, yeah, I don't feel embarrassed anymore. You went for you went for the boys. I went for the girls. It's fine.
Man, yeah, that Wannabe's a great tune as well. I think with a bit of time and a bit of maturity, you look back and go, do you know what? They were actually really great songs. Wannabe's awesome, and Slam Dunk the Funk is an absolute tune. If that comes on, I'm still like.
What's the one? If you want to get down with it, if you want to get down, ba.
That's it. Yeah, that's Slam Dunk the Funk.
Oh, okay.
Slam Dunk the Funk.
Yeah.
I think that's 5 will make you get down now.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, put a heavy guitar on it. Might sound all right.
Yeah, that was
okay.
They were a great band.
First album.
Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Good album. My one was Houdini by the Melvins.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, first concert.
Oh, first concert. I think that was Hell is for Heroes
Oh,
at
amazing!
Junction in Cambridge.
Oh, I love that band. Yeah.
They're an incredible band. They
Who was
were.
supporting them? Because it's like Hell is for Heroes, 100 Reasons, those kind of guys. Early Biffy Clyro, you know.
Oh, yeah, I have seen 100 Reasons support them, but that gig was a band called Bluebird
Wow.
and another band who I can't remember the name, who are great. They were both awesome, really, really, really amazing bands. I remember them pretty clearly. Oh, why can't I remember the first band that came on? I don't know, wait, Bluebird was first, then the next band, and then it was Hell is for Heroes, and I thought the whole night was amazing. My first gig, I was very excited,
Pretty good.
very excited.
How
Hell
old
is for
were you?
Heroes are amazing.
How old were
Oh,
you? 20 something? No, it wouldn't have been 20 something. Something how
14.
Hell is for Heroes were like they were not they were not well 2000s ish, weren't they? Because they weren't pre 2000, were they?
Um, they weren't pre 2000. No, I think they've been going since 2001 or
Yeah,
2000.
ish. So you would have been 20 something?
So I saw them when I was 14.
14. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I was 14 in 2002.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw them around then, and I've seen them loads of times since then.
Mm.
They tend to do every 5 years. They do like a comeback tour.
Yeah,
Like they
they're always coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, and they usually tour with 100 Reasons as well, so you get the
Yeah.
double whammy.
That's it, yeah. Cool, okay. Mine was 1992, Wembley Stadium, Michael Jackson. And I always forget the name of the drummer. What is the name of the drummer for Michael Jackson?
Jonathan Moffat.
Yes, he's a fantastic drummer. And I remember watching him, and it wasn't him obviously that got me started on drums, but I remember watching him, the rest of the band, I was like, oh my God, they were just incredible. Like the backing band he had were just so good. Yeah, I think that was way before he had his dodgy nose surgery, I think. But that's probably going to get some hate. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, so the second question is it's about City of Thieves. We'll get a gig together one day, and about the company. So City of Thieves, what's next for City? Obviously, you're releasing stuff quite often and stuff. What's next? What's the next big thing?
Well, we're currently writing. We're writing another album. Our singer Jamie has built a studio.
Yes, he has. Yeah,
at his home, and that's called Slam Time Studios in Southwest London.
not you could have said it. You could have easily called it Slam Dunk Studios, and that could have been your nod to 5.
Yeah, that's true. I think that might already exist though. I'm sure there's
There's a festival. There's a Slam Dunk festival.
Slam Time. I can't remember why he called it Slam Time, but that's what we went with. And it's actually, it grew on me a lot. I think Slam Time Studios is pretty cool. He's got a great studio. He's available for bookings. He's available for bands, singers, duos, DJs, anything you want. So that's what we're doing. We're writing a new album. We're going to record it there, and also we're going to play Rock Fiend Festival.
Amazing, yeah, up in Scotland.
Up in Scotland, yeah.
The Rock Fiend guys, nice.
Yeah, right now I can't remember the dates of it, but I think it's late November.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play that, and it's going to be our good friends Collateral playing there as well. There's the Jokers, and a couple other cool bands. I think Chez Kane.
Yeah, Midnight City. Yeah.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. Rock Fiend is run by some amazing people as well. So looking forward to hanging out with all them. And so we're gonna play that, and then we're gonna play some shows next year. I think we're gonna be really, really pushing it because everyone's been very busy with their own things. Jamie, like we said, is building a studio. Ben's been incredibly busy with his teaching practice. He's got like 60 students a week or something.
Yeah.
And I've been pretty busy with London Drumstick Company as well. But next year we're going to prioritize a lot more band activity. And we're looking forward to seeing everyone again.
Could do a little mini tour. That would work.
Yeah, a little mini tour around the UK would be good. We should do a double header.
Yeah, easy. Different types of music, but kind of complement each other. I think.
Yeah, Thieves and Outlaws.
Thieving Outlaws. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That doesn't work. But anyway, London Drumstick. What's next for London Drumstick? Where do you think the business is heading? Where would you like the business to head? Yeah.
I can give you an exclusive because it's now been pretty official. So we we make drumsticks for I've got my colleague partner over there shaking her head at me. Do you think we can say
Go on, Marta.
you can't say? Okay, we can't say.
Marta.
Sorry to
Okay,
tease everyone.
okay.
I've
Right,
been given the word.
right, ask Marta. Right, ask Marta if you can tell me once I've stopped recording, and I've told you that I've stopped recording.
Yeah, we can tell him once we stop recording, can't we? We can tell Ryan off the books, off the record. Yeah. So
Cool.
it's a very big Australian band we're making sticks for. That's a lot of fun. It's a very specific signature model that we've had to design around a lot of different requirements that this person was not able to get from any other company for the last 16 years.
Blimey.
So we've designed a very special stick. And that's very exciting. And also we've got some other big drummers to announce as well. So we're just getting more and more high profile players all the time. Larger and larger orders, more and more countries around the world we're selling to, and some really cool young drummers as well. So we're going to be concentrating on our Rising Stars program. Check out a kid called Bronx, the drummer, on Instagram. Just type in Bronx, so Bronx, the drummer. And he's recently been on stage with Machine Gun Kelly at 10 years old. This kid is absolutely amazing. And so we've just signed up Bronx, and we're making him a nice pink signature stick. And we're looking forward to getting that available, hopefully online as well, for people to buy. And we've got a load of other awesome young talent as well, like a young girl called Lola on Instagram, Lola Drums. She's incredible as well.
She the girl? There's the girl who did the famous Argos advert, who is a drummer. It's not her, is it?
It's not her. No. Nancy. Right now, on camera, I forgot her name. Any other time, I could tell you what her name is. She was at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert as well.
Yes.
Nandy?
Maybe, yeah.
Nandy. I think her name's Nandy. She's awesome.
Taylor Hawkins Jr. Oh, bloody hell, why don't I know? Shane Hawkins?
Shane Hawkins, yeah.
Yeah, have him in your sights.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, of course. I mean, anyone's within our sight. It's just that we have to see how it all unfolds and whether we can work on something with him. What a talented young man.
Yeah.
He's got all his father's passion and just ability to just kill it in front of all those people.
I know, like that age. He was doing he had wasn't really a solo, but during one of the songs, and he was like, it was kind of triplets, but it was kind of like the bombastic style that sort of Taylor plays in. I was like, that's impressive, that's really good. I kept replaying it. I was like, what's he doing? Okay. That's a really annoying thing. Like, if you're watching a gig, you can see the hands, but really difficult to watch the feet. And you're kind of like, right, I need to see the feet. You can't see it. You're like, I don't know how to do it. But yeah, no, like, you're going from strength to strength, which, deservedly so. I was going to say, am I too young to apply for the Rising Stars thing?
Yeah, definitely too young.
I'm probably I'm more like 25 years senior to that, I think.
Yeah.
2 more years.
Need to get on that
2 more years, and then I'm 40. So you need to do like Rising Old Stars, maybe. For you're kind of like, it's like you do your, when you go to a restaurant and they do like their pensioner Sunday meals. You get a discount on like fish and chips or whatever. You do like a, senior old man stars. I don't know. That's you know what I mean. Something for the older drummer.
Risen stars.
Risen stars.
Stars.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, you're already in the. You've already been in the main roster for a while. There's no need to section you off anyway.
Section me off
into a new category. No, it's all good. But I just want to concentrate on younger talent, really, and been working with the Hit Like a Girl contest team as well, and Samantha Lubin, who's working very closely with the Hit Like a Girl contest, and they've got lots of plans for connecting young drummers around the world, and so we're getting involved with that as well. So it's an incredible contest, Hit Like a Girl.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely amazing thing. Really so every year they do a splendid job of promoting young female talent, or actually female talent of all sorts of ages, actually. So yeah, just looking to get involved with that a lot more. And honestly, I think it's going to be a lot of trying to keep up with things because now that COVID is over
Mm.
and the world level of activity is getting back to pre-COVID levels, everyone needs sticks. So we are just flat out. Machines are churning out drumsticks as fast as they can go.
Yeah.
We're ordering more wood than ever before. I'm ordering more packaging than ever before, having to just sort of work out logistics all the time. So it's about kind of trying to help this, trying to allow the company to grow naturally without choking. So we're trying to expand production and get things moving as best we can, and just learning how to scale.
Yeah.
Really, that's going to be the challenge for the next 12 months.
Try and get to the old UK drum show, maybe. I don't know. I know we mentioned it before, and it's obviously not got to get a pitch and things like that. So it's not exactly the cheapest of things, but just linking up with a a global distributor. I mean, Amazon's good, but yeah, linking up with like a global distributor and like I said, getting into shops. That's kind of
that'd be splendid. That would definitely be splendid. Yeah, there's a lot of numbers to work out at the moment, but people don't need to know the ins and outs of running a business. You just got to work out your margins and you've got to work out your numbers properly.
Cost versus reward. Is that the phrase? Gain versus reward, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Got to work it all out.
Yeah, you've got to work out your margins really, and basically it's just growing so much. And if you buy more raw materials in higher quantities or larger quantities, then again your margins change. So it's just about really just finding our groove. I mean, we've been just solidly doing direct to consumer, making drumsticks for drummers directly. We've been concentrating on that for so many years, since 2016. We've never had a chance to really sit down and figure out larger scale production for shops and distributors. Direct to consumers work for us so far. But hopefully in the future, we'll be able to have a little look at, working with distributors and hopefully get into some retail outlets as well. But that's all to be discussed and worked out in the future.
You mean Will Richards, CEO, London Drumstick Company, be with your cigars and your Mercedes or Lamborghini, whatever, sitting in a big glass tower, with your Chablis or whatever.
Well, you don't really hear of that many drumstick tycoons, so I'm not quite sure it's going to be of Tony Stark proportions. Or anything like that. No. But if it can pay the bills, then that'll be wonderful. If it can pay a few more bills, that'd be nice.
You could have like like Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. You have a T-shirt with your face on it and stuff. If anyone starts moaning about where my drumsticks, you'd have a stick saying "Wood is coming." Wood is coming. That sounds a bit rude, but you know what I mean. Yeah. That's really bad. That's a bit what's the word? That's a bit Bernard Manning, I think. But something like that. Sticks are coming. I don't know. Wood is coming. Oh dear. There we go. That's on that lowbrow note. I think we'll end it there. But no, thanks for rescheduling. I'll get this out probably beginning of October, because I've got a couple more to edit. But yeah, no, that was great. Thanks a lot, man. And like I said, all the best to you, Marta, in the business, and obviously the band. Like I said, hopefully we can, schedule a couple of gigs next year. That could work. Do a couple of gigs, tie it in with a drum show as a day off, and then could work.
Yeah, that sounds like a lovely thing to happen.
Have a day off doing business, and then get back on the road drinking and playing music.
That's it, man. And thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, and so do I, man. Always a pleasure.